G'day everybody, welcome along to another video on Taranaki long range shooting. A little bit of a different video today. Normally I do a little bit of filming out shooting or just hitting some targets or hunting or whatever. I thought I might start maybe doing the odd video in the workshop here, in the TLRS workshop, and actually maybe go over some gear, some of the new things we get in. We do get quite a few different toys in to play with, whether we purchase them privately or we get sent them by distributors and importers here in New Zealand. So today's video is about an optic. Now, this video isn't a review by any means. This has just come in, so it's literally just out of this nice box here and sitting on the bench. Haven't put it on a rifle yet, but I thought I'd sort of get it in, get it out, have a talk about it. Some of the features that are advertised and a few things, yeah, just first thoughts or something along those lines. Take that for what you will. So, again, as you can see, it's a scope, right? They all mostly look the same nowadays. But this is the Delta Javelin, 4.5 to 30 by 56. I've been shooting a Delta Striker for maybe 18 months now. So look at that, haven't had the gun there. I was shooting it today. So this is my main competition rig. You probably, if you follow the page regularly, you would have seen videos, pictures, etc. So, you know, Howler 6mm Creed. And this has got the Delta Striker 4.5 to 30 by 56 on it. Very nice scope, but these cost a little bit more than the Javelin I've got down here on the table. So put this away, this isn't what this video is about. We're here to talk about the Javelin. So first up, Javelin comes in this really, really nice box. I know the box doesn't really make the scope, but I mean, nice packaging's important. It sort of, you know, shows they take the time to put a bit of effort in. Right, you can see the reticle there if I zoom that right in. So it's a first focal plane optic in mil, obviously mil turrets. I don't even know why we have to state mil now. I think pretty much everything is. Now the scope itself comes all nicely packaged in there, but I won't bother showing that. It's just cardboard and stuff. Comes with a scope. What comes in the box comes with the scope, comes with the scope lens extension for shooting in sort of, can be rainy or sort of glary, sunny conditions. If you're shooting towards the sun, they can definitely be a big help. So that's in the box. Again, I'm not going to pull that out, it's just a black extension, right? Now, the first thing I'm going to sort of point out on the scope is that it comes with weather caps, right? So sort of keep the rain and the dust and the whatever out. Now these aren't your standard plastic sleeve overs. These are actually machined aluminium, and they snap down. Now they're not spring loaded, so you have to pull them up. And the one thing I will say, they don't have an O-ring in them, so we'll see how that goes. But man, for the sort of price range this scope's in, sub $2,000, having that machined on cap, that's quite a feature, so that's pretty cool. Snap shut, you need it. Very impressive. Obviously you can thread that off and chuck it onto the extension if you're running extension on the scope. Now what else can we talk about? Turrets. So the turrets are quite a different design from the Striker. They're obviously 10mm per revolution on the vertical, and there is 10mm of rotation on the wind, although that is a lot of wind if you're dialing that much wind on. I've only ever been to one event where we had to put on huge amounts of wind like that. Anyway, so these are a lift lock turret, so pop it up and turn it. Sorry, I was going the wrong way. Turn it around, and then when you get to your desired elevation, pop it down, it's locked. So very nice, good feature. Guys complain about turrets turning. When I was new into shooting, I thought it happened to me once, but I'm more convinced now. I just didn't return a turret to zero and therefore blamed the turret being moved for my poor shooting. But so I believe it'll take away that option of an excuse for you for having your turrets turned, because since then I've never really had it happen. But nice feature, I like it, especially for those guys who do take this out in the field rather than just shooting steel, you know, those guys who are hunting deer or whatever. Now again, it's a big scope, it's probably not what you want on your lightweight hunting gun, but who knows, people do all sorts of odd things these days. You get your fast focus at the back, pretty standard now. It's, as I said, 4.5 minimum power, 30 maximum. Now, on the competition rig running the Delta, I shoot on about between 12 and 14, and I imagine I'll be the same with this thing. But having up to 30 power is quite nice for when you're trying to shoot groups. I find going on sort of between 20 and even up to probably not 30, but 25 when I'm trying to get a zero, perfect zero. That's helpful for me. Some guys like big mag, others like much less. So that's up to you. But it's got a good power range, and so you're not going to be wanting there. Parallax is 25 to infinity. So it's a bit hard to see there. So 25 is reasonably low. There are a couple of scopes that go lower nowadays, but 25 is still pretty good. So this would be a good option for rimfire, I imagine, where you sometimes have those targets around 20 meters. I'd certainly use it for rimfire. Again, I haven't put any rounds behind it yet, but if it's anything like its big brother, that's for sure. But so nice, it's zero stop, obviously. If a scope doesn't come with zero stop now, it's not even worth buying. To the point where I won't even trial scopes without a zero stop, because in my opinion they're a waste of time for what I do. So yeah, obviously zero stop. Illuminated reticle, if you are into illumination, if it just clicks around there, I won't even bother putting a battery in this, because, well, I don't shoot in low light conditions or anything like that, so it's not really a big deal for me. But the option's there for illumination if that's what you're into. Nice little throw lever on the magnification varying ring here. I can imagine on full power this may clash on some sort of 90-degree bolt throws. It won't be a problem on your 60-degree bolt throws, but that does just straight unscrew. So on my Bergara on low mag, nearly every optic that has a little throw lever, it will clash. So again, that's just rifle specific, depending what you run. Nothing to do with the scopes so much. You just take it out, and it's not a big deal. Yeah, other than that, 34mm tube, which is nice, coming pretty standard nowadays for precision optics. Only downside to having 34mm tube is you then have to buy higher quality, more expensive rings. Not a issue in the long run, because you've got a better piece of sort of more solid equipment bolting your gun together, but a little bit more outlay when it comes to setting it up, rather than say a 30mm tube, which is incredibly common now, and you can get in every single sort of sports shop in New Zealand. 34, you're probably going to have to order online, or if you've got a good shop like we do here in Taranaki, they'll special order them in for you. Again, 34 is the standard larger size. It's not like Loophole, who have their own 35 just to be difficult, although they reckon it's for a specific reason, but I'm hardly convinced. My recommendation rings would be probably some MDT or something along those lines, or maybe a spur, or there are also some other cool options coming in now that sort of hopefully we'll get to demo here, and we'll touch on in the future once we play with them. But yeah, so again, I've rambled on now for 8 minutes and 39 seconds, but I haven't yet put this on a rifle, but I will endeavour to get this put on my backup competition gun, which is a Bergara 6.5 Creedmoor rebarreled by Hardy rifle, still in 6.5 Creed. So that's my sort of backup rifle when I haven't got enough 6mm projectiles, or for whatever reason I can't shoot the 6mm, we go to the 6.5. And this optic, being that it's the sort of more cost-effective version of the Striker, will be a good fit for that, right? So that'll go in there, and possibly on the TK22 for some upcoming 22 shoots, because I imagine they're sort of aiming these at the 22 market here in New Zealand as well. So we'll do a bit of testing with those, see how they go. And yeah, so I'll give you hopefully you get a bunch of photos in the upcoming months, hopefully a few more videos testing in the field, and we'll wrap it all up in several months with maybe a conclusion. We'll fancy one, bunch of footage of shooting and talking and all that shit. But yeah, thanks to Delta Optical for sending this through, Delta Optical New Zealand. We've got a pretty good relationship with them. I run, like I said, the Striker on the comp gun that's down there. I've also got their 5 to 50 by 56, which is the MOA second focal plane version of the Striker. I'm running that on my 300 Win Mag 2 kilometer project. That's sort of currently not a lot happening because of winter and lambing and calving sort of makes getting 2Ks of range a bit difficult here in Taranaki, but it is happening in the background, so you'll see more of that later. So again, good relationship with Delta. We appreciate their support here on the Taranaki long range shooting page. And yeah, so now you'll see a bit more of the Javelin around here in the next wee while. One thing I'll touch on, which I didn't, I'm not a gun salesman. I don't sell scopes, I don't sell stuff apart from the odd little bit of merchandise. But they are, I think the retail is around $1,900 for those interested. So again, not a cheap scope, but an affordable scope in this long range game. It's not a game you sort of get into and expect to, buy a scope for $200 and have it perform reliably. So about $1,900, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Again, I'm not a salesman, but there are a bunch of good retailers around. So Magnum Sports here in Stratford can get them for you. Reloaders in Auckland sell them. There's a bunch of cool shops, and I imagine if you are wondering where you can get one, just get in contact with Delta New Zealand, and I'll link them in the bottom of the video here. And yeah, they'll point you in the direction of who you can purchase one of these cool scopes off. But again, I haven't shot it yet, so this is purely just the first sort of impressions, a few features. Oh, I don't think I mentioned either, I've got a note written down behind the camera. For those of you who get a sort of super curious on how much internal adjustment something has, these have 32 mil of advertised adjustment. That's a lot of internal adjustment. That's freaking heaps, man. So I was shooting 1200 yards today. I don't usually use yards, but I'm practicing for a 1200 yard thing. I had 9.6 on my 6 mil for 1200 yards, right? So 9.6 mil got me to 1200 yards. This has 32 internal. So if you put a 40 MOA base on your rifle and one of these, and you could even put some canted rings on if you were really desperate for the adjustment. This could be a potential extended long range scope too, for sort of 1,000 meters out to a couple of K or whatever your unrealistic dreams of shooting may be. So yeah, again, I'm not saying rush out and buy them. I'm just saying I've got one in to play with, and out of the box it looks pretty cool. So thanks if you've made it 12 and a half minutes in. Thank you for watching, and I'll if you like these sort of rambling quick videos, maybe tell me and I'll do the odd one. It's pretty easy to get done, sort of even with long working hours and stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.